Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Anybody that's new, welcome. I'm Debbie, the crafty shopper. Today we are going to do a Jenga block electric skeleton chair. We're going to be using one of the bigger skeletons. I don't know, I just had this idea and I said, oh, it'd be really cool to have one of them and just something a little different. As you all know on my channel, I like to do stuff a little bit different, and I like working with Jenga blocks. I would suggest getting a pen and paper and always to write down notes, maybe as you go through the video, writing down numbers of blocks. I do them in sections. I pre-glue a lot of my pretty much all my builds on the side, and then we put it together. Just it would take a long time be a long video if I had to glue every single piece on camera. We are going to use Wellbond, my preferred glue. I know some other crafters that do use the DT wood glue and say it works fine for them. I've never seen it in my store. Fellow crafter Nikki says that you can buy Wellbond at Hobby Lobby if you are in the US. I buy it at Rona/Lowe's here in Canada. I'd also suggest to get an L-shaped ruler. You can get this carpenter's ruler. You can find it in the hardware section at DT. And we are going to use the tumbling tower, aka Jenga blocks, from Dollar Tree. They come in the blue and brown package, and they are found in the kids section. And one box is 72 blocks. Now, I know fellow crafters have ordered online the Jenga blocks and got them shipped to their local store for free. And then I've also heard that only some stores, so you'd have to check. They get the free shipping to their local stores to pick it up. But you can also watch if you sign up for dollartree.com. Every once in a while they do post a coupon for a flat rate of shipping of $5.99, and that usually comes out around like Thanksgiving and usually around Christmas. And for a couple weeks I notice it's usually in the fall and Christmas time that they do have that. The electric chair today will be 104 blocks. And just with the ruler, I always suggest using one just because it keeps your blocks nice and straight as you glue them. And I usually say flat like this, which means just the blocks are flat like that. And when I say stack, they're glued sideways. When you glue them just like that, that means stacked. And I'm just going to move here. So we're going to start with the bottom of the chair. And I already have the pieces glued. We're going to have 3 rows. They are flat, as you can see. And it's going to be 9, 9, and 9. And that's 27 blocks. And we're going to do the back of the chair. And I'm going to show you as we put it together. Then I already have a piece glued together. So you're going to start with 3 blocks. You're going to glue them just like that. I'm just going to move this out of the way. Actually, I am going to keep it there just to keep the base straight as I go along. Then you're going to glue right on top like that. You're going to put this one in the center. Keep this one near the edge. And you're going to glue them as you go along. You're going to add 1 more block here. And as you glue it, you might just have to move it out. And you're going to put it right centered. So it's halfway up on these ones. And the exact same side like this. And you're going to grab another 2 blocks. And you're just going to put them there. Just make sure you're gluing the corners as you go along. You do the exact same thing halfway down these 2. And when you are using your glue, just make sure you read the instructions on the back for drying time. Sometimes you can play around with it if it's not a big build or too chunky, but I do recommend reading the instructions just to make sure that your build doesn't fall apart. Putting too little glue or too much glue. If you put more glue, so you're gonna have to wait a lot longer for drying time. Too little glue, it might fall apart. Gonna add another 2. And we are going to add just one more, so it's just halfway up, so you kind of have these little windows. Whoops, no, we're gonna do that right there. So you have 6 like kind of little windows there, and you're just gonna glue it like that. So I've already glued this piece together. Now you're going to take your base here, and we are just going to glue it right on the bottom. Once your piece is all dry, I do suggest to take a nail file, and I'll show you here in a sec. And you're just going to put it upright just like that. And you're just going to let it dry. Now I'm just going to show you a piece here. I'll just grab a flat piece, especially on the top and bottom. I am going to do stain on this, so I always like to go and check, and you can see in between cracks. I don't know if you're going to be able to see in the camera. There's just a little bit there, but especially with stain, you will notice that when you try to paint with stain on it, just because it is a little transparent, you will see glue marks. So I would just use a nail file. This is just from DT in the nail section, cosmetic section, just a coarse nail file. It's really good to just buff out any little spots of glue residue that's come out between the cracks, and it just has a nicer finish on it. Now, once you got this glued on, now that we have the back glued on, it's still a little bit wet, so I'm not going to move it. If you do have any glue that seeps out in between the cracks, you can always just use a Q-tip just to take off the excess so you don't see it when the glue is dry and we stain it. Now, you don't have to stain it. You can pick a different color. Now, we are going to do the arms. The bottom of the chair was 27 blocks. The back was 19. We are going to add 2 pieces on it, but I'm just going to, at the back of the chair, we'll do that in a second. We're going to start with the arms. So the arm brackets, you're going to need just 2 stacked, and you are going to need 4 of them. Then you are just going to glue them right near the back of the chair, aligned with the back part of the chair. And then you're going to do it again, and I'm just putting this part forward, not the cracked side, the seam there. We're going to do that and that forward, and you're just going to glue them on right there. Now that I have those pieces glued on, we are going to do the armrest of the chair, and we are going to, you're going to take 3 blocks just flat like this, and another 3 blocks, and you're just going to stack them and glue them on just like that, and then you'll end up with this. So you need 2 of these. So we have the 6, and the 6 is 12, and you're just going to place it right on top of there, and you're just going to glue them on right on the arm brackets, right like that. So the next thing we are going to do is the legs, and we're going to need 3 like this, but 3 of them, and then you're going to stack them on one another just like that. And so each leg has 9, so there's 3, 3, 3, that's 9, and then you're going to need 4 of these for the legs. Now this is already glued together just like that. Make sure when you're gluing on the arms, you do to the back and the bottom on each side and the front. Oh, I got a little bit of glue there. I'll pick it off after. So now we're gonna put the legs down. I am just gonna make the wider legs this way as opposed to this way. And just put them on the 4s. The corner, I'm gonna do it obviously off camera, but you just wanna get them placed where you want them, right underneath, and then you're just going to glue it on top once once that's all glued together, then we'll move on. Now, the two little pieces I was talking about earlier for the back of the chair is just two pieces like that and just kind of sticking out. Just like that. So once I get it glued, I'm going to glue them on like this, laying flat so they can get a good hold. And then I'm going to glue them to the top of the legs. Now I left it overnight just to fully glue, and it's solid. I am going to paint it with a gel stain that I got from Rona's. It's just the dark walnut. If you don't have the stain, you can also just use whatever color you prefer, a brown color. I'm going to stain this before we move on to the next step. So I want to use this, it's the bigger skeleton. It says 18 inches long. I'm just going to cut that off here. We are going to take its joints out. So I'm just going to pop them off. I just got wire cutters here. I'm just going to leave the hands attached because they don't move. And you're going to do that to both sides. And we're going to do it there, and we're going to do it at the knees as well. And you're going to cut each corner of the knees. So you got that, the two arms, and we are not going to take the feet off, but we are going to I want the back of the feet. We're not going to see the back of the feet, but I want them to, I don't know if it's gonna, you know what? I'm just going to leave them just for the moment. I might have to trim them after. I guess we'll figure it in the video down after. Why does one leg looks a little bit smaller than the other? Kind of strange. All right. So I don't like the color of him. You can keep him the same color. Oh yeah, I'm going to take this off too. I don't like the color of him, so you can either paint it. I'm just going to spray paint him, and then I'm just going to do some black paint just to emphasize some of the areas that you can see here. I probably won't remember when I'm doing it, but I'm just going to brush some black and a little bit of, mix some white and gray paint and just do a little effect. But I'm going to spray paint him first, and then we're going to put him back together. So I finished spray painting the skeleton here. And just with some black and white paint, I just sponged the little gray part to make it more dirty looking. I am going to do two, the electric chair and then a regular chair. Well, not a regular chair, but I wanted to do two for this tutorial. So I think I'm going to keep him for the second chair. So we're just going to bounce over to, I had this other skeleton, he's a different color. But what we're going to do with this one, we're going to make him look like he's crispy. I did see this in another group for a different dollar store, and I want to try my hand at it. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I did a test piece, and I think it's going to work out well just for the electric chair. That's why I'm switching it up. So I'm just going to take this outside, and then I'm going to show you. All right, we're going to start off with the chest. I just wrapped a couple pieces around of cling wrap, just plastic saran wrap, and just got it on the low setting, and you're just going to see how it hugs right up. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do this. All right, so there's the chest, and you can see it just comes apart a little bit, which will even make it a better look when you paint it. And now we're just going to do the legs. So you can see when it does dry here, when you burn it, it looks like it'll be like chunks of flesh. So I'm gonna go down and do the rest. I wanted to cover this leg a little bit more, and I wrapped a little bit of the feet, and then I'm gonna do the head. So I'm not going to add any more than that on. You can keep adding layers and stuff like that to it as much as you want. When you have the little hanging bits, it just makes it look like the skin. This is a trial and errors. It was kind of a last minute thing. I'm going to use some brown, red, and black. The black will be more like crispier, and you're just going to paint it in. I'm just going to do a quick little patch here just to show you. And let me switch it with some little bit of black, and you can just make it more crispy in certain spots than others. Maybe in the black where more of the plastic is burnt. And then you can just add a little bit of red. I don't have the proper, you just want to add, I think that's the red is a little bit too bright. I'm going to switch that up, but you can just blend it in. So I'm going to do that whole body. Now I'm just going to show you, originally I did try one out, and kind of got, and this was like a 2-minute job of just the plastic on the one side. The more plastic you add, the more skin you're going to have to hang around the body. Now, I think it turned out pretty cool, especially with the electric chair. That's why I wanted to switch the skeletons. So I'm gonna finish painting this off. I do wanna suggest though, just make sure that when you do the plastic, that you do it outside in a well-vented area. Maybe wear some safety protector goggles and a mask, just because you are heating plastic. That's why I suggest doing it outside. That's the only thing I can suggest to do that. And once again, you don't have to do that. I'm sure painting it brown too, you just won't have the effect of the hanging skin on it. All right, so finished him off, and he's pretty crispy. So I want more on the little black side, so he can be a little bit more crispier looking. I found, I try to do a lot of where the plastic was a lot darker, so it looks burnt crispy. This is the back. I didn't put too much on there because it is going to be sitting down, but you can see where the plastic, I didn't cover the back too much of it, but you can see where the plastic has melted, the saran wrap. It's not what I was originally planning to do, but that's okay. We're going to put him in the chair now. I'm just going to move it. I'm going to turn it this way. We're going to prop him up, and I'm going to do two dabs of glue. I'm going to stand up here. I don't put my head in the camera. I'm going to center him right in the middle. Make sure the hands are up. And you're going to do one dab right on the bottom of his torso and at the back of the head. Next thing you're going to do is just glue his arms as far back as you can go. Then you're going to take the two arm pieces. You're going to make sure the thumbs facing on the inside, like our normal hands would, or arms would be, with the hands facing in, and you're just going to glue those right on top like that. Then you're going to glue the legs down, just a dab of glue on each one. I'm trying to figure out which leg. And then going to put the top part of this leg right under and glue that on. And the same with this leg, right under. And if you need extra, you can just glue part of the back heel right on the legs. Now that we got them all glued in, I'm gonna grab 4 zip ties. You can get them from Dollar Tree in the hardware section, and we're just gonna wrap it around. I can't see, and it's gonna fall down. I'm gonna wrap it, I'm gonna turn it this way. Now you can either turn it upside down and just keep the bottom part just like this, or if you want to see the top part of the zip tie, you can keep it up like that. But I'm gonna put it in the back underneath, so I'm gonna tighten it, and I don't wanna scratch. I'm not gonna do too tight. Then I'll just cut the ends off and repeat for the other arm and down by the leg here as well. So I have the zip tie on him. I did start painting a little bit of the Mod Podge, the matte one, and we all know the matte's not really a matte, but it is a sealer as well. Gives it a little bit of shine, and I really like that. So I was just playing around with it, and I really like the look. I'm gonna move it this way. Just on there, it just pops a little bit more just because the chair is brown, so I wanted to stand out a little bit more. So I'm gonna do the rest of the body, and I'm not gonna totally cover it, but I am just going to give it where a lot of the charcoal black is, and just do it all over the body. Well, Mr. Crispy, I guess that's what I'm gonna call him, Mr. Crispy, is drying. This first part of the tutorial, I did not have this in mind. I had something similar with the white skeleton, but this one's kind of funny. All right, so we are gonna do, I got these spools that's similar to thread spools. So if you have 2 thread spools, small ones, that'd be awesome. I got these ones at Dollarama, and I bought them for a different reason for a project that I didn't do. So I decided this is the perfect one I want to do it with. I'm going to paint them black. I'm going to put these to the side. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get an egg. Now, this is from my stash from Easter stuff. And if you don't have one, that's okay. You can, some of those candies at DT or at one of your locals, any store, sometimes comes with candies that go inside the egg. I don't even know the brands of them, but I remember always seeing like eggs. Sometimes toys come in them. I'm not sure if DT has toys that come in them, but if you have an Easter egg, it's awesome. We're only going to use this part. So I just have this, I don't even know what this is. I think it was a light once upon a time. It does have 2 holes right here. I'm just going to stick this in and make it bigger. Oh, just the hole, we want it a little bit bigger. I don't have my can of spray right here, but then you're gonna spray it. You can pick any color. I picked silver, which I already did one already. I'll put that to the side. So then you're gonna get this. So it's gonna be for his head. Oh, okay. I don't know. So it's gonna fit on his head like that. But I think you know where I'm going with those spools, but we'll go back to that after, once I paint them. Gonna need a fairy light. Now the fairy lights, I got mine on Amazon. I always buy the big packs of them. It's like 20 bucks for 12. That's here in Canada, I'm sure. On the Amazon, on the US site, you can get them cheaper. We pay a little bit more stuff here for our stuff. Actually, some of our DT stuff. And I'll show you just for example. This is a DT candle. Things are going up to $2. I don't know how it went from $1.50 to $2, but apparently that's going to be incremented into our stores. Yeah. I was a little bit shocked when I saw the $2. So I'm just going to count the fairy lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10. So I have 10 fairy lights. I'm going to do the 20 one. I'm just going to pull it out. I'm going to show you when you look at Amazon. Sorry guys, I was going to use that one and I decided I'm going to use my other one. All right, I found my other pack. So I did have a pack of these. I think I bought them on Wish or Temu. Those ones have 10 lights on it. These ones have 20. And this is the pack that I got from Amazon. Now I can, if you are in Canada, I can give you the link in the description of the video. The only thing is, if you are in the US, you can't order from the same site as me because it's a .ca, which means Canada only. But they sell the same stuff on Amazon. You just can't order it from my site. Let me see. All right, this is the fun part. Well, I don't know about fun part, but so this one has 20 lights on it. What we are going to do is we're going to put it through the hole. Each hole is going to have 10 that comes out, if that makes sense. And of course, this is all going to get knotted. So it's only getting knotted because I'm filming. All right. So I'm going to count 10. Sorry, guys. And I want to have the look where the cap is coming out and it's twisty to these little sides with that little ledge that we did put at the back of the chair. Now, let me just count here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is the 10 mark, and I'm just gonna clip it here so I know where I'm at. And I'm gonna put it through one hole. That's why you need the hole a little bit bigger to make sure that you might have to drill hole. I don't know if those candy ones have holes in them, just the eggs did. So we got that one there. I'm gonna bring it right up. So you have to make sure the 10 lights, one side of the 10 lights is out. You're gonna bring it up the other side. All right. I just put a dab of hot glue there to keep the 10 lights on each side. So we're gonna do this. And I did paint the little black spool threads. They're just drying right now. We are going to grab a pencil, something thin like that. I'm gonna do it this way, so it's, do it the way that you're gonna pull it out, because you might not be able to get it over the eraser. So you can do it as close as you want and just keep wrapping it. I think it turned out pretty cool. I'm still laughing about it. I don't know. The next one's going to be what the kind of vision I had. Well, this one was, I don't know. All right. If you guys have any requests, please put it in the comments down below. I want to thank everybody that sends me messages on my page. You guys are all so amazing and so nice. I really appreciate everybody that takes the time to leave me a comment in the section. All right, let's do it. So once that's done, voila. And then you can stretch it out as much as you want. All right, so we're gonna stick it on his head. I'm gonna put there's a little tip where the egg was open. I'm just gonna use it right there. Oops, I'm gonna make sure. Let me zoom out a bit, guys, so you see. Put it right And the top of the thing, I think I just put a little bit too much saran wrap, so it kind of, just gotta push it on. And then I got a little bit of black paint because I did a little touch-ups. Let me just grab the spools. Now I have the spools painted black. We are just gonna hot glue them. We're gonna kind of do it near the end because we gotta, there's one. We're gonna put the other one right on the opposite side. Just like that. Now, I'm gonna turn this, I think I can turn it sideways. So you can take as much as you want and straighten it and wrap it around here, and take the other one. Now I'm gonna show you, I can't put it this way. I'm gonna put it where the feet don't come down. We are gonna put it here, wrap it as much as you want there. And then you're gonna put the wire looking like it's wrapped around. When you wrap it around, bring the wire down here, hot glue it to here, and we're gonna put the battery pack, make sure it's the part that goes up. So you have to do these, undo these little screws, I think. Let me check, I think so. You have to undo the little screws to open up, so make sure it's facing you. And it's gonna be concealed. I put it here, so behind the body, when you look upright, you cannot see the battery pack. So it's gonna go up like that, hot glued after you wrap it around right there. Now that we got this far, I'm gonna grab some of that, what do you call it, spider web stuff. I'm just gonna put a little bit of webs somewhere on there, not too much. And I'm just gonna add this little plastic rat I have, and I'm gonna stick it right in the middle of the center. So I just find that having something in the center there instead of it just looking bare. So I'm gonna stick that. I got a couple of spiders I'm gonna put on somewhere here, and just a little bit of the cobwebs, and that's it. Then I'm gonna turn it around and I'm gonna show you him lit up. All right guys, so here he is. The little spider. I found a little fly when I just stuck there as well. I didn't put too much of the spider web on there. Little mouse. I just think he turned out really well, really crispy. And then with the Mod Podge, the matte one, it still gives it a little shine that I like, and it just looks more fleshy. All right, we're just gonna start the next chair. All right guys, so we're gonna start with the second one. It's a Jenga block, I guess skeleton chair, a different format, like a king chair. This one build is gonna be 185 blocks. I may alter it along the way, so make sure you watch to the end. I'm hoping not. I think I figured it all out. Pen and paper. You're gonna need 5 rows flat of 6, which is 30. Then you're gonna need 4 rows flat of 5. Then we're gonna take it, we're gonna glue it as we go along. I'm not gonna do the gluing on the camera, but we are going to do it as, I'm gonna glue the pieces as we build it. We're gonna stick one of the longer ones in the middle. So I'm just gonna show you like this. We're gonna stick it like that. Sometimes I don't like the little, when it's too far. So we're gonna stick it like that. I'm gonna switch around. I wanna get a tight fit on this. I think that's about it. I'm gonna show you. Then we're gonna move these ones Actually, I should have did the sides. We're gonna take these ones here. We're gonna move it down. I'm gonna leave a little bit there. I'm gonna move the next one down. And we're gonna move it just like that. This one's gonna come down just a little bit. Then how we have it on this side, we're gonna match the other side, just like that. Then we're gonna match this side. And we're gonna move this one down to about there. I think this one is moved there. So we kind of want, this is like the backing of the chair. I'm gonna move this up a little bit. And just like that, we're just gonna glue it as you see it like that. Now that we have it glued, we're gonna move on to the side. And the side is 9 blocks across, another row of 9, another row of 9, and then we're gonna add sideways, we're gonna add a row of 3 and another row of 3, which is 33 in total. And then we are going to put it on the side. I'm gonna show you in a minute exactly where we're gonna glue it. I'm just gonna leave this aside right here for the moment. We're gonna need 2 of these, but we're only gonna glue one on now with the seat. Now, this is the seat. It's another 9, 9, and 9, and obviously they're flat. I'm gonna move this up here. And we're gonna wanna glue the seat. I'm gonna show you with a ruler. Where's my ruler? I'll have to use this one. You see where the blocks, this one's a little bit up, but you're gonna wanna glue it closest to the bottom. Just like that. Now, with the blocks, sometimes you know they're a little bit off. If the one side where you have the three rows this way, if you notice on the sides it's too small, you can actually just switch it like that. So I'm gonna bring it closest to the bottom where there's still edge. You see a little bit of the blocks on the bottom. I'm just gonna tilt it. So you'll just, it's along the line here. I'm just gonna glue it as we talk. So I'm gonna put some glue on it. Okay, and I'm just gonna glue it right on there. Then the one side where the 2 rows of 3, we're gonna glue it. I'm gonna show you, before I glue it, I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna lean it here. Now, in order to find your dimensions, I'm not gonna measure it only because sometimes the blocks are a little bit off. We are gonna do the front part of the seat that comes straight down. I'm gonna show you here. And this is the front part of the seat, which goes right underneath like this. And you're gonna do a row of 9, a row of 9, and 2 rows of 3. So this one's 24, but we're not gonna glue it on yet. I just wanna show you where you're gonna glue it right under the seat, but you're gonna make sure in 2 spots that it's level. The top part of the seat will hang over this part and stick out from this part, and that's fine. But you wanna make sure it's level with the bottom part of the side. Once you figure that out, and I'm just gonna mark it here. I'm just gonna mark a little line right here. So I just marked it right there that I want to be across that and just put it here. So I know all the glue will want to go just above this line all the way down. Just gonna put it there. So I am just gonna glue it like this. And the top part going on the side like that is gonna glue to the side of the back. And you're just gonna put some glue right on the side like that. Now I'm just gonna stick it on the side here. And as I have it placed, I am just gonna double check and stick the underneath part of the seat, and I see it, I have it just a little bit up too much. There we go. Now we're just gonna let that side dry before we move on to the other side. All right, so while I have this side drying and the seat drying, we're just gonna turn it sideways. Just gonna put a little Jenga block at the front of the back of the chair just so it keeps it level. And now we're gonna add the front. So whatever, this is the front with the 2 rows of 9 and 2 rows of 3. Now, if this fits, you might have to switch it, you might have to turn it whatever way fits better, because sometimes, like I said before, the Jenga blocks are not exactly even all the time. And if there's one that's a little bit out of place, and I'm going to show you in a second, sometimes one's longer than a little bit than the other. You can just use a file and just file it down just a little bit, and it will actually just try to blend in. You could use one of those long nail files that I use. Okay, what am I doing here? Okay, so I'm going to flip it using the 2 rows of 3 right under the seat, but it is going to have a little bit of a opening, like I said earlier, under the seat. I'm going to glue it this way. And once I do this, I'm just gonna see, I am gonna leave it overnight to fully dry. Depending on what glue you use, it's always good to read the bottle and make sure it fully is dry before you start moving it around. And I would not suggest hot glue at all. Okay, I'm just gonna use, and you can always go with a little paintbrush over and add just a little bit of glue. I did that on the inside here, so it's gonna be even. Okay, and then we're gonna put, remember we did the other side, the exact same one. So this one is just gonna go sitting right on here. So you're gonna see there's a little bit of the front of the seat sticking out, and that's fine. Gotta make sure the bottom part of the chair is level to the front underneath the chair, that it's even there. Glue here. And let's see how much it's gonna go up to here. I'm just gonna make a mark with my pencil. So right there, you're gonna put the glue, and you're just gonna let it sit overnight. So I did leave it overnight to dry. I'm just gonna quickly go over the numbers again. So we have the 50 all the way in the back. While you're gluing the pieces, you could put some glue in there just for extra stability. We are not gonna cover the back. We're not gonna worry about that. The side, you're gonna need 2 of these, 3 rows of 9 sideways flat with an extra 3 rows of 3. That's exactly what's on the other side. On the front, underneath the seat, as you see, the seat's gonna stick out a bit. 2 rows of 9 plus 2 flat rows of 3, which is an extra 6. And then we have the seat, which is just 3 rows of 9. So the total, oh, and then we're gonna do arms on here before I give you the total number. So we're just gonna do stacked, and you're gonna do 3 beside each other. And we're gonna glue it right there. So you're gonna glue the little part here right onto the side of the back, and it's gonna be level right there along the side, right on top. You're gonna glue that, and you're gonna do that for the other side as well. But before we glue these on, I'm just gonna put it on here. I am just gonna round the one side facing out, and I'm just gonna use the nail file. You can use a buffer. I use my hand drill, my Dremel. It's a lot faster, but I just want it more round, and I am just going to do the top right here round as well, and just underneath the side, so it kind of looks like it's has cushion around the edges. Now that I have the arms on and I filed on the side, I haven't really decided just yet which direction I'm going to go with texture with the whole chair. If you're new to my channel, I've been using dry tex. It's a spackling. It's to fill holes in the wall, nails when you remove them. I have this big container because I was buying the little one, and it's a lot cheaper if I buy the big container. You can buy it at a hardware store. A few other crafters say that DT sells it. I'm not sure if it's the same brand. It's just spackling. I guess it's like similar to the stuff that people make, those faux donuts and cakes and stuff like that. That's where I seen the spackling, using DT spackling. But I'm not sure if the DT here in Canada does not sell this in the store. So I do buy it at the hardware store. You can buy it at Rona, Lowe's, etc. Now, Dollar Tree does have these tools. I guess they're more for clay and stuff like that. I don't like that. I just have this old knife that I use. And I'm not going to do the seat. I do want to do some of the backing. I'll do the front here. How I'm going to show you. I'm going to turn this sideways so it's easier to see. It is pink, but once it dries, it turns white. And it just fills in these holes nicely because, you know, all the blocks are not even. So it does give it a nicer finish. And I discovered this a couple months ago thinking about clay, because I did try clay. I think it was originally the first barn I did, Jenga block barn, a couple of years ago. I find that it cracked after. I didn't want to buy the expensive clay. I just find this is a lot easier, so you can kind of manipulate the shapes of any of the Dollar Tree Jenga blocks to do different things with them. And it's totally optional. That's just my preference that I like to do it. You don't have to do it. When you are doing it, I haven't even done it yet, but I'm putting this backling on. You can see the little shiny spots from the well bond. So I would suggest taking a buffer, just like a nail file buffer. Some hardware store, or the hardware section of DT carries like a sander, a little block sander, and it works well. Just to take it off, because when you do paint on it, you will it will show through just the imperfection of the shiny paint. And then, and it does give it an even look too, because not the blocks that don't, and I'm just going to continue that. I am just going to do the back part right here. I am just going to even out, I think there's one side on the arm that's a little bit uneven with the blocks. I think it's this one. I'm going to do the sides. I am not going to do the back, and I'm just going to even out the sides here, both sides as well. All right, so I let it dry overnight. Not that it needed to be dried overnight, but I did leave it overnight. Just was the end of the day. I did file, so you can see some of the spots, and with a buffer, that it is more uneven in certain spots. We are going to now just paint it black with the DT paint. So I got 2 of these garden stakes, and they're actually I already cut the tops off them. So you're gonna need both of them. I just have a pack of these body gem, I don't know, jewel borders. And I decided, because it's gonna kind of be blingy, I guess. Not blingy, but we're doing a skeleton king chair, I guess, if you want to call it. And we're gonna just put it right, I have to cut that side. It's not very straight. I'm gonna do it right on both sides like that, and we are just gonna glue them at the top. You can put them down further. I'm just gonna leave them up just a little bit, but when I hot glue them, I'm gonna make sure that they're level and that they're not tipping backwards. So we're gonna add some fur to the skeleton chair. I just wanted to show you these. I recently bought within the last less than a week. If you see them in DT, grab them. They come in some amazing colors. They come in 2 types of fun fur. They came with these 2, just the white, great for Christmas. They came in this, I guess, the more of a lilac color. I grabbed some of this. They also had teal, green, and black. I thought that would be great fur to have. And they come into a quarter square, so they come into a 9 by 12 inches. They also came in the more shaggier style, the white, the black, the white. It's off pinky kind of color. And as soon as I laughed when I saw this, because last year I looked all over my city looking for green fur for the Jenga block Grinch, which if you can see some of this, grab it. Would be great for St. Patty's Day for a craft as well. And same thing with this. As soon as I saw this I know a lot of people couldn't find the teddy bears for the Jenga block Highland cow, which would be another great use of this fur. So I'm going to use the black for the chair. And I just cut a piece already, and I'm going to glue it right there, just below. You're going to fluff it out once you get it hot glued on. And I also just cut a piece for the base as well. Right now we're going to go back to the beginning, the original skeleton that I changed the color and painted him white and did just a little bit of the black in there. We are going to, so him sitting on the chair, we're going to take the bottom foot, make sure you have the right leg on the right side. We're going to glue it underneath his foot. I'm just going to do this one here. I'm going to do it right underneath. And for the arm, appropriate side. I just want to make sure they're on the right side. You're going to glue it underneath. So like that. Just so that his arm will reach on the side when he's having his arms on the side of the chair. All right, so instead of just having my skeleton plane, I don't know why I thought just more of a throne chair. I'm gonna do more of a king, I guess, a king look to it. DT has this metal ribbon stuff we've seen. I guess it's been out for a couple months, and I just thought I'm gonna give him a crown. So I did cut just a little bit on each end, and if you count the designs up here like flower-like, it's 10. And I'm gonna just overlap the last 2. I'm gonna use a piece of floral wire. I'm gonna try to get it. And then you're just gonna put it right through. Oh. And then you're just gonna twist the wire. I'm just gonna do this off camera for a second. Okay, now that I have it twisted, I did it more of an oval because the shape of the skeleton head is oval. I'm just gonna move him here so I don't have to move him. He's already glued. And it will just sit on there just like that. Now for the back of him, I'm going to, I just had a piece of velvet material, red velvet, since I'm gonna do the robe. I'm just gonna hot glue it just a little bit here. Nothing fancy. I hope it didn't go through. It did. Oh well, it's on the back. And then I'm just gonna take some fun fur yarn. Oh, why it's going like that? I could just do it like that. And I'm just gonna hot glue it all the way around the edges of the material. So after, when I was doing the robe, I thought to myself, I said, he needs a gold crown. Excuse me. So all I did was just put some gold spray paint on the crown. I'll put that on after. Since he's glued sitting down, so he's gonna be a little bit hard to move around. So this is what I have done. And you can see the back here. You're not going to see it because it's going to be against the back of the chair. And I'm just going to hot glue it like it's sitting on his shoulders and just position in just right there. And it does fit nicely in the chair. I'm just going to turn the camera around. All right, so I'm just going to show you him finished. I actually just took one of the chains off and added it right to a bird around its neck that he has chained to his hand. I did add some little gold eggs. Actually, they're just styrofoam eggs with some push pins. You just push them in, and I just spray painted them gold. And here he is. You can also change the top too. I didn't really know how I was going with this one yet. So you can just make it straight and it will make it a lot easier on the back if you want to do that. But I think he turned out pretty cute. And the bird's just a nice added touch. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. Give me a thumbs up and let me know what you guys think. See you soon and happy crafting. Bye.